Memphis Grizzlies. Shout out Santi Aldama, who's quietly having a solid second season. Shooting, I know, low 30s right now from three, but he's a guy who's really been a great spot starter for Jaren Jackson Jr. Another example tonight, he had 18 and 10. He's a guy who's the perfect backup, and you can see that the future front court is going to be Jaren Jackson Jr. and Santi Aldama whenever they do decide to move on from Steven Adams in the starting lineup or even from the roster entirely. But Tyus Jones is another example of how deep this team is. You got David Roddy, who looked great tonight, pretty much playing shooting guard. And you also had our man, Xavier Tillman, come out tonight. John Konchar was out with injury, so we got to see a little bit of Kennedy Chandler. And Brandon Clark did his thing, and it was fun. It was fun seeing this squad put it together, seeing how they're able to coexist even during injuries in the middle of stuff when stuff is going on, and just how deep this team is. Because if you really think about it, they had several guys missing from tonight, and not just Ja Morant and our man Jaren Jackson Jr. Like and subscribe, we're on the way to 10,000. But Zaire Williams, Jake LaRavia, John Konchar, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane were all out, which I just think shows the resiliency of this team and why they're a top 10 team, which is, I think every day when injuries pile up for them and they continue to show the resiliency, is an example of how deep this team and why they should be considered a top 10 team in the NBA. But also, Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson have only played 20 games together combined, like in their careers. Those are the two like the second and third best players on the roster. And this team has been very successful over the last year or so without Ja Morant in the lineup, and even without Jaren Jackson Jr. So the fact that Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Ja Morant have yet to be consistently back on the court and fully healthy, and Jackson being back to his defensively dominant self, this team is still winning games, and this offense is still keeping them afloat. Their defense is going to come back. And it's examples of guys like Santi Aldama and Tyus Jones, who are efficient basketball players who continue to keep the ball rolling. And for me, I think that's why this Memphis Grizzlies squad is one of the more exciting teams in the league, and why watching them on any given night is an absolute thrill, due to the fact that they'll just blow you away any given night. And for me, that's why I enjoy watching the Grizzlies this season, just because of it's team basketball, it's good defense, it's everyone being held accountable for. And how can you not like that as an NBA fan? A team that whenever someone gets hurt, or someone needs the rest, Zaire Williams, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, you got guys like Tyus Jones, like Santi Aldama, Brandon Clark, and the young guys, and David Roddy, Kennedy Chandler, Xavier Tillman, who's going his third season, Vince Williams, who I believe is on a two-way, Brandon Clark, all putting in the work that's needed to be done for the team to have success for the greater good. And that's just a lot of unselfish basketball that is just a thrill to watch. And as an NBA fan myself, I think that's what gets me going at night, okay? That's what gets me a little hard and excited when I'm watching games like this. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you guys like Santi Aldama? I think Santi Aldama is going to be a guy who in his third season is going to become like a 15 point per game guy. I really do believe that. Like, Santi Aldama is going to be a guy who is he could do everything. He passes. The guy's averaging almost 2 assists a game, 6 rebounds, about 10 points a night, shooting like 33% from three. Okay, guy's going to be a threat. You're already seeing it. He's easily going to be a guy who can average 18 and 10 for a season. And I think that's one of the more exciting parts about how fun and exciting it is to see when your team is able to have the success that the Memphis Grizzlies are. And that's why I've always said this team reminds me a little bit of the grit and grind Grizzlies, because they carry that edge on them, that they feel like people are doubting them, and that they've taken offense to people doubting them. And that's why watching them is an absolute thrill, because they play as a unit. And I don't think there's anything else you'd rather see in NBA basketball than a bunch of guys play together as a team to win games, because that's what the NBA is about and why it's a fun game to watch night in and night out.